Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Betting Insights. I'm your host, Timothy, alongside Sergio.
Hey Tim, hey everybody.
Yes, welcome back, everybody. As you know, we are giving out betting tips for 5 different club competitions across Europe: Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga, Premier League, and the Eredivisie. Now, we will get to all picks and leans for the upcoming weekend in just a sec. But first, a quick recap of last week because we are also giving out our best bets every weekend. Now, last week I gave out 6 best bets, went 4-2. Sergio, you gave out 7, also went 4-2 because one game got postponed, the Udinese versus Roma. So
Yeah.
that was unfortunate.
Yeah, that is really unfortunate.
But nonetheless, winning week for both of us. So let's look to keep that hot streak going this week. And also, I have to pound my chest for one pick where you went against me, Sergio. Ajax versus Twente. I told you Ajax would win. What do you have to say for yourself?
No, I think Twente had an off day. I don't know what happened. I think they were still convinced that they didn't have to try too hard to win from Ajax. So I think
No,
that
I told you there was some pride and to show for Ajax, and they came out playing like they had something on the line. So like I expected, and that's why they won the game. But it was a bad performance by Twente. You're
yeah,
also right on that.
but they did have something on the line, the fifth place. So
Yes, and that's why I expected
they
them to come out and show that they had something on the line, unlike they displayed the week before that against Feyenoord. So,
yeah.
all right, but no worries. Enough of last week. Let's get to next week, or let's say the upcoming week. We are recording a little bit late, so skipping the Friday games like usual. We don't like the Friday games. So let's get to the first game on the schedule. We are starting with La Liga this week. First game, Celta Vigo hosting Las Palmas. Celta wins set at 1.75. Las Palmas wins set at 5.2. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, I kind of liked Las Palmas last week against Sevilla, but early red card really changed things. Celta also lost the last game against Betis, but they played very well and maybe deserved more. And they have been playing well under the new coach. Celta playing to stay alive in La Liga for next season. Las Palmas already safe, so just give me Celta for a win here. Celta's the better team, and Las Palmas out of form. They have not scored in 4 straight games, so maybe they score here, but I'm taking Celta for a win. Or are you doing something, Sergio?
Yes, you have to go for for Celta here. Like you said, they're playing to stay alive, actually, and just like I think it's like a Ajax scenario. Only they don't want to relegate, so I'm just going for a Celta win, just
Yeah,
like it.
yes, and like we've been seeing a couple of the last 2 weeks, the relegation teams are kind of catching fire, especially when they're playing at home. So this is like a good bet. Actually, one of my favorite bets for the weekend. Celta wins 1.75, good value. All right, next game, Rayo Vallecano hosting Osasuna. Rayo wins set at 2.28. Osasuna wins set at 3.55. Line for total goals set at 1.5, and the line for total goals tells you just stay away from this game. They're not expecting a lot of goals. Probably a draw. I don't like either team. Are you doing something, Sergio?
Um, Maybe just only for Osasuna because they only seem to the last games they only seem to win or lose. You know, and maybe because of their position on the table that you would maybe go for them. Yeah, but yeah, it's still a difficult one because they're playing away. So I'm afraid I'm gonna have to agree with you again.
All right, all right.
But a second.
Yeah,
Yeah,
may,
it looks more like a draw.
Yeah, maybe just a very slight lean towards Rayo because they're only 6 points above the drop, so they also need to pick up some points and secure a spot for La Liga next season. So just a slight lean, but the way Rayo's been playing, I really can't trust them, so I'm just staying away from this game. All right, next game, Valencia hosting Betis. Valencia wins set at 2.33. Betis win set at 3.4. Line for the total goal set at 2.5. Now here I like the over 2.5 goals. Now in the last 5 Valencia games, there has not been more than 1 goal. Betis bounced back after 4 straight losses, but have not been great on the road all season. But I will still take the over 2.5 goals here. Both teams playing for an European spot, and Valencia in 9 of the last 11 games, the over 2.5 goals has hit. So I'm taking the over 2.5 goals in this spot. Are you doing something?
Yeah, I'm going for a Valencia win here. Actually, it's one of my bets this weekend. Valencia, they're playing at home. They have 2 straight wins. Although it was against Osasuna and Granada, they only needed to score 1 goal. Yeah, but that also means that they didn't concede a goal in 2 games. So yeah, I'm just going for a Valencia win.
Yeah, if you look at the total goals, like I said, I like the over 2.5 goals because of the. If you look at the head-to-head matchups, 9 out of the last 11 games has seen over 2.5 goals, and the over 2.5 goals is set at 2.28. Under 2.5 goals is set at 1.63. So there's great value in taking the over 2.5 goals, but I think the line is inflated because, like I said, in the last 5 Valencia games, there has not been more than 1 goal, but in this game both teams are playing for something, so I'm expecting goals here. I'm taking the over 2.5. But Valencia winning, also not a bad bet.
No, not at all.
All right. Next up, Girona hosting Cadiz. Girona wins set at 1.43. Cadiz wins set at 8. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, this is also a spot where I'm just going to take the over 2.5 goals. Girona playing at home. They're not great on the road, as we saw last week, losing to Atletico Madrid. Cadiz a little bit more desperate here, but that does not matter. Maybe Cadiz scores a goal, but Girona will win, which is why I'm taking the over 2.5 goals. Are you doing something?
Not great value. For me, I think it's just a little bit too low for the risk. The over 2.5, yes, I don't know, maybe Girona, I'm just thinking they'll score maybe 1 or 2 goals. Not enough value actually to take the risk.
Right, I understand it, but Girona actually a very high scoring team, so you may not need any help from Cadiz to take the over 2.5 goals, but I can understand why you would stay away. All right, next up, Getafe hosting Sociedad. Getafe wins set at 4. Sociedad wins set at 2.16. Line for total goals set again at 1.5. So another game where they're not expecting a lot of goals, and neither am I. Actually, two teams that actually like to defend. Sociedad now 6th, and they will try to put some more distance, knowing they will know the result of the Valencia versus Betis games by the time this game kicks off. Getafe safe and not really playing for anything. Also, kind of out of form, especially the injury to Borja Mayoral. So I'm just gonna take Sociedad for a win in this spot. They're playing for much more. They have much more on the line. So give me Sociedad for a win. What are you doing?
Yeah, Sociedad, great odd also for Sociedad. Also a small lean towards Sociedad. Yeah, I still think that Getafe now they're not playing for nothing anymore. It's just they'll play maybe a little bit more.
Really, yeah, the pressure's off.
Yeah, the pressure's off. So yeah, so yeah, it's the lean towards Real Sociedad, but still don't count out Getafe.
I won't count them out, but they've really been struggling to score goals since the injury to Mayoral. So I'm just gonna take Sociedad in a spot. I think Sociedad will just do enough to edge out this victory. All right. Next up, Almeria hosting Villarreal. Almeria wins set at 3.6. Villarreal wins set at 2.02. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, this is kind of a high number. Both teams coming off an impressive result, and neither team really playing for anything. So with the pressure off, I can see why the line is set at 3.5. Yeah, you can expect a lot of goals in this game. But Almeria has not won a home game all season, and that's kind of crazy. So I'm just gonna go with Villarreal here. What are you doing?
Yeah, yeah. I'm also going for Villarreal in this one. Like I said, Almeria didn't win a home game all season, and yeah, 20th. Uh, so it's already too late for them. So
Yeah,
I'm just going.
it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm also just going for a Villarreal with great value, by the way.
Yeah, over 2-1. That's
Mhm.
very good value.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Alaves hosting Atletico Madrid. Alaves wins set at 4.35. Atletico Madrid wins set at 1.95. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Atletico Madrid got knocked out of the Champions League by Borussia Dortmund. Actually, not really a big surprise. Madrid has been poor on the road basically all season. Alaves not really safe, but Madrid should be the more desperate team here, fighting to hold on to the fourth spot, and Simeone will demand his players respond after the Dortmund loss. So I'm leaning towards Atletico Madrid for the spot, but I'm gonna take the over 2.5 goals here. What are you doing, Sergio?
I'm also going for the over 2.5 here, but I'm sure Atletico will win this match. So 194 is also not bad, but I will also go for the over 2.5. Like you said, I think they'll try to, you know, convince themselves that it was a mistake, and Alaves is gonna pay the price. So over 2.5 is maybe even better.
Yeah, and there's more value in taking the over 2.5, and like I said, they have to secure a top four spot because that's the only way they'll be playing Champions League next season.
Yeah.
All right, next up, game of the week. Real Madrid hosting Barcelona. Real Madrid wins set at 1.83. Barcelona wins set at 4.25. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, the way Madrid has been playing, and especially knocking City out of the Champions League, there's actually no reason to go against Real Madrid. But I still have a funny feeling for this game. Kind of smell an upset coming. What are you doing here, Sergio?
Um, but City was the better team, by the way. Real, I think Real just held back and just
But
uh,
that's how you need to play against
and
City.
counted on their experience that they have in the Champions League. But
But
actually,
that
City
but
was the
that was
better.
a good strategy. That was a good
Yeah,
strategy.
yeah, yeah. But I'm going for Barcelona here, and not only because because I favor them, but just a feeling. I think that Madrid they went over the top on Wednesday, was it?
Yes, against
Yes, they
City.
played Wednesday, and the overtime, I think, yeah, did a lot of damage. I think I'm going for a Barcelona,
Yeah,
the double chance.
that's the same reason I like Barcelona in the spot, and the double chance is a very good play. And Real Madrid knows even if they lose this game, they're probably still gonna win the title, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure that
Yeah, so a loss.
that's not a problem anymore.
Yeah, so a loss here wouldn't be too damaging. I know it would close the gap to 5 points, but still, Real Madrid will win the title. There's no doubt about that. All right, next up, Sevilla hosting Mallorca. Sevilla wins set at 1.94. Mallorca wins set at 4.75. Line for total goal set at 2.5, but the over 2.5 is set at 2.48, and the under 2.5 is set at 1.54. So actually, the bookmakers are expecting the under 2.5 goals. I don't like either team here. Also, a Monday game, and Sergio, I know you like the Monday game, so who are you going with here?
Uh, Only because Sevilla looks to be in a little better form than they've been whole season. Um, Maybe I would go for them, but like you said, it's still a Monday, so I would rather go for a double chance for a Mallorca.
Yeah, and Sevilla has been winning more games than they have been doing in at the start of the season, but it's not like they have been playing very well. Like still a lot of issues to solve. And last week they were very fortunate. Las Palmas received a red card in the 6th minute. So
Yeah.
I still don't trust Sevilla fully. All right, that wraps up La Liga. Let's get to Serie A. First game on the schedule, Empoli hosting Napoli. Empoli wins set at 5.1. Napoli wins set at 1.7. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, listen here, I'm going to take the over 2.5. Empoli has something to play for. Napoli also a little bit. And Napoli still has some defensive issues, as we saw last week against Frosinone. Napoli just can't seem to keep a clean sheet. So give me the over 2.5 goals here. What are you doing, Sergio?
This one is like I said, it's a difficult one for me. Empoli, not in good form at all. Just one win in the last 5 or 6 games. So no, I'm staying away from this one. Not a lot of value in Napoli, in betting on Napoli, and over 2.5. Also not so much. So no, this one is
I like the over 2.5. Like I said, Napoli, they can't defend a lick. And they have to win this game if they want to have a chance to climb over Atalanta, which I might not see them doing, but still they feel like they can. Empoli, they're just 1 point above the drop, so Empoli has something to play for. They probably will score a goal here with the way Napoli's defending, so I'm just taking the over 2.5 goals. Actually, I really like this bet. Over 2.5 goals.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Verona hosting Udinese. Verona wins set at 2.55. Udinese wins set at 3. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, I don't like either team here. So are you doing something, Sergio? I'm just staying away from this one.
Yeah. I was looking more at the over 2.5. The last 4 games they played against each other, it was it was over 3.5 even goals scored. So it looks like when they play against each other, they score a lot. The first game was a 3-3 draw. So
Yeah, 3 of the last 4 games has seen over 2.5 goals, and the other one saw 2 goals, a 1-1 draw. So I can understand why you would take the over 2.5 goals in a spot, but both teams are 1 point above the drop, so they might want to play it safe here and not be too aggressive. Kind of look out to sneak out a point here, so just kind of staying away from this game.
so you're going for a draw.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, I'm still going for the over 2.5.
All right. Next up, Sassuolo hosting Lecce. Sassuolo wins set at 2.35. Lecce wins set at 3.1. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Sassuolo has to win this game if they want to keep their chances of staying in the Serie A alive. And I think they will win this game. The defense is still a concern, third worst in the league, but Lecce also the third worst in terms of scoring goals. So I don't think Lecce can really take advantage of the weak defense here, but they may score a goal here, which is why I'm going to take the over 2.5 goals. And Sassuolo kind of aggressive as we saw last week against AC Milan, scoring 3 goals. So I like the over 2.5 goals here. Are you doing something, Sergio?
I'm going for the Sassuolo win. They it's the last chance, and all the teams in the leagues, their last chances, all the teams that have a last chance is worth putting your money in. So Sassuolo is one of them for me.
You're right on that. You're right. You're very right on that one. I couldn't agree more. All right. Next up, Torino hosting Frosinone. Torino wins set at 1.71. Frosinone wins set at 5.2. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Frosinone is the team here that's playing for something. Torino not really playing for anything, but Torino, they at home, they've been very good throughout the season. They've lost 2 games at home. One was against Inter and the other one was against Lazio. And Frosinone is kind of nowhere near that. So even though Torino's not really playing for anything, I'm still leaning towards Torino because they're at home and just can't trust Frosinone on the road. Are you doing something here?
Yeah, maybe if Frosinone was playing at home, then I would think about it. But like you said, it's an away game. Torino at home, yeah, difficult to beat, especially for Frosinone. So it's gonna be a Torino win, I think.
All right. Next up, Salernitana hosting Fiorentina. Salernitana wins set at 5.1. Fiorentina wins set at 1.71. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Fiorentina played overtime in the Conference League, but they did advance, and that's where they will keep their focus. So I'm not gonna bet them in the league anymore. They're not really playing for anything, and Salernitana is just too awful to place any money of mine on. So I'm just skipping this game. Are you doing something?
Yeah, this one is also a skip for me. Yeah. The over 2.5 maybe because the last I think it was 5 games they played against each other, so over 2.5 goals. So that maybe, but mm, seeing their form at the moment, maybe not.
No, and their focus won't be on the league. So I'm just not gonna bet them.
No, no.
All right. Next up, Monza hosting Atalanta. Monza wins set at 3.95. Atalanta wins set at 1.95. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, I like two bets in this game, and that's Atalanta for a win and also the over 2.5 goals. Atalanta advanced in the Europa League, but still trying to secure a top 5 spot, maybe a top 4 spot. So they're really playing for something, and they will carry a lot of confidence and momentum into this game because they advanced in the Europa League. And especially with Roma and Bologna facing off Monday, Atalanta knows this is a chance to climb closer to one or maybe both of those teams. So give me Atalanta for a win. Another one of my favorite bets for the weekend. Are you doing something here?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Atlanta also one of my favorite bets this weekend. Over 2.5, also interesting, but I'm just going for the Atalanta win.
All right. We agree there. Next up, Roma hosting Bologna. Roma wins set at 2.35. Bologna wins set at 3.45. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, not great value. The bet I like in this game just set at 1.6, and that's a double chance for Bologna. Now, Roma, they played a good game Thursday, beating AC Milan, but they played with 10 men for over an hour. So I think legs will be tired here, and Bologna will try to take advantage of that. But Roma has been playing very well under their new coach. I've been beating the drum since De Rossi took over. But still, like I said, played with 10 men for over an hour. Bologna's a very good team, especially defensively. So I'm just going to take a double chance for Bologna here. Or are you doing something?
I'm going for the over 2.5 here. Yeah. It seems like the better bet. Roma scoring a goal, but I'm also seeing Bologna maybe winning this game. So I'm going for the over 2.5.
Yeah, I also have a feeling Bologna will win this game, but I'm just gonna play it safe and take the double chance. But might just sprinkle something on it or Bologna win. So I don't dislike. Sorry for the double negative, but I don't dislike the over 2.5.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, AC Milan hosting Inter. AC Milan wins set at 4. Inter wins set at 1.94. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, listen, I just have to take Inter here. Inter can secure the Scudetto with a win here. They know that AC Milan, they played midweek. They will be deflated after losing against Roma. So give Inter just the better team. Give me Inter for a win. They will be crowned champions here. Inter winning this game. Are you doing something?
Yeah. It's a derby where AC Milan is like playing at home, but still it's the same stadium. So I would uh, I would also just go for the Inter win.
Yeah, they're the better
Like
team. And
before, it's very interesting.
AC Milan not really playing for anything. They basically secured a top 4 spot, so I don't think they will be very motivated for this game. Inter, well rested, will be motivated. They will be crowned champions. All right, that wraps up Serie A. Let's get to the Premier League. First game on the schedule: Sheffield hosting Burnley. Sheffield wins set at 2.75. Burnley wins set at 2.65. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, if Burnley what thinks they have any chance of staying in the Premier League next season, they have to win 3 out of the last 5 games and hope Everton and Nottingham Forest and Luton drop points, basically don't pick up any more points. So can Burnley still survive?
Yeah, I'm actually going for Burnley because they surprised at more difficult games for them. So against Sheffield, I'm putting my money on Burnley.
Yeah, that's the only bet you can place in this game is backing Burnley. Now Sheffield's already relegated, 16 points. No way they're climbing over Luton. So Burnley is the play here. Although I haven't liked Burnley all season. So, but if there's a game where I'm gonna back Burnley, it's against Sheffield. All right. So
Yes, against Sheffield. Yeah,
it's against Sheffield. All right.
can't
Let's
agree.
get to the next game. Luton hosting Brentford. Luton wins set at 3.4. Brentford wins set at 2.12. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, Brentford just has to do one thing here, and they have to make sure Luton does not win. Brentford doesn't necessarily have to win, they just have to make sure Luton does not win. Keep Luton under them, and they will survive for the Premier League next season. So Brentford will probably just sit back and rely on the counter. So I'm gonna back Brentford in this spot, although Luton is playing at home and they're coming off a couple of impressive results, but still gonna back Brentford. Or are you doing something here?
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna skip this one. Like you said, Brentford. I'm leaning more towards a draw here. Bradford is gonna defend like crazy, maybe so. I'm just gonna go for the draw,
Yeah.
and it's a
Uh,
stay away.
Yeah, possibly. I'm leaning towards Brentford, but a draw, like I said, not unlikely given that Brentford they will defend like crazy and make sure Luton just doesn't win this game. All right, next up, Wolves hosting Arsenal. Wolves win set at 10. Arsenal wins set at 1.35. Line for the goal set at 2.5. Now, what the hell is going on with Arsenal? Just giving away the Premier League to Manchester City. What's going on?
Yeah, they lost everything in what
Yeah,
2 weeks time.
yeah, yes.
So
Very Arsenal-like.
yeah, yeah. Honestly, I didn't see this one coming. I really thought they had Bayern München in the pocket, but yeah, it worked out differently for them. So
No, they played well in the first game against Bayern and maybe deserved to win that game. Now, I think the loss against Aston Villa really damaged them mentally, and that carried over into the game against Bayern Munich. So uh, they probably knew when they lost against Aston Villa, the Premier League was basically over.
yeah, yeah.
Because I can't see City really losing any more games.
No, I don't think so. And Arsenal, it depends if they will win all their games also. So.
Yeah, that's also
And
another
against
question.
Wolves, it's not gonna be a easy one. I'm not betting this game. I'm skipping it. But Wolves, it's very interesting. Maybe a double chance even. But
Yeah, it's crazy. Wolves winning is 10, double chance for Wolves 3.35, so maybe
yeah,
something to sprinkle on. But Arsenal, they probably will win this game, I think, but it won't be an easy game. And I'm not gonna bet Arsenal as the value is just too low, 1.35. So
I don't know, but Arsenal kind of seems on the ropes now. So I don't know. Just a double chance, Wolves.
yeah, but don't go too heavy on that. Let's just
Oh.
Arsenal still the better team. All right. Next up, Everton hosting Nottingham Forest. Everton wins set at 2.06. Forest wins set at 3.85. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, also a relegation 6-pointer, but Everton just got smashed by Chelsea last time out. So confidence may be low here. Are you backing Forest?
No, no, I'm still not, I'm still not backing Forest, and I'm not backing Everton either. So maybe the over 2.5, maybe, but yeah, I'm leaning more towards the draw. I think both of these teams are uh, going to be afraid to lose, of course.
Which is why I would take the under 2.5 here. I think both teams will defend like crazy, and Everton, even if it doesn't matter which game they're playing, they always like to defend. So I would lean towards the under 2.5 goals here. I can see this both teams just passively playing this game and maybe a 1-1 draw, maybe even a 0-0 draw. So if I would play a bet here in this game, I would take the under 2.5. All right. Next up, Aston Villa hosting Bournemouth. Aston Villa wins set at 1.89. Bournemouth wins set at 3.95. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now Villa also involved in midweek action, also played extra time. So now they return home to the Premier League, still fighting for a top four to secure a top four spot. But I have a funny feeling about this game. I wanna back Bournemouth in this game, knowing that Villa coming off a very good result, beating Arsenal last week, and now
Yeah.
played a midweek game extra time. So Bournemouth's been playing well, and actually they played very well against Manchester United and maybe deserved to win that game. So I'm leaning towards an upset here. What are you doing?
A double chance maybe for Bournemouth. Yeah, I'm also not confident Aston Villa will win this game. So, and over 3.5 seems too a little bit too much for me. So, I would just go for a double chance Bournemouth.
Yeah, that's also where I'm leaning in this game. All right, next up, Crystal Palace hosting West Ham. Palace wins set at 2.15. West Ham wins set at 3.55. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, West Ham also season in the Europa League over. Uh, Picked up a draw against Leverkusen, but still they got knocked out. Now they travel to Palace. I don't really like either team here. I just want to lean towards West Ham because the value is much better there and not a lot to separate the teams. But kind of trying to stay away from this game. Or are you doing something?
Yeah, yeah. Me also just to lean towards West Ham. Over 2.5, also possible, but yeah, it's just a lean towards West Ham.
Yeah, so maybe look for a double chance West Ham here. All right, next up, Fulham hosting Liverpool. Fulham wins set at 5.6. Liverpool wins set at 1.58. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, another team that just gave away the Premier League to Manchester City. Liverpool losing to Crystal Palace last week. Now, that's really good, right? By club. You rest all your players against Atalanta in the Europa League, and then you come home and lose against Crystal Palace, right? Great job.
Yeah, it's really bad the choice there, but yeah, but now it's over for Liverpool also.
Now they shift their focus to the Premier League, but I think they
Yeah, but
will.
it's too late. But it's too late also. Same like Arsenal, they both gave it away in 2 weeks time. So
Yeah, so they have to rely on Manchester City dropping points, and with City being knocked out of the Champions League, City will shift their focus fully to also they have the FA Cup going, but they will try the Premier League to win the Premier League. That's priority number one. So Liverpool, they might win this game. Fulham not great, but also not great value backing Liverpool, so also staying away from this game.
yeah, yeah.
All right, that wraps up the Premier League. Let's get to the Bundesliga. First game on the schedule, Hoffenheim hosting Gladbach. Hoffenheim wins set at 2.1. Gladbach wins set at 3.2. Line for the total goal set at 3.5. And I'm just going to take the over 3.5 goals here. And Hoffenheim really can't defend. So the over 3.5 is kind of an easy bet for me. Or are you doing something here?
I'm going for Hoffenheim. Yeah. They're playing at home against Gladbach. Gladbach not that great this season. I'm just going for the Hoffenheim win.
Yeah, I also think Hoffenheim will win this game, but Hoffenheim has not kept a clean sheet in 24 games and only 2 clean sheets in 44 league games. Just one of the worst records in recent history. So that's why I like the over 3.5 goals here, because I can easily see Gladbach getting on the score sheet here, but also leaning towards Hoffenheim for a win. But I rather play the over 3.5. All right, next up, Heidenheim hosting Leipzig. Heidenheim win set at 6.75. Leipzig win set at 1.45. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, although I don't like backing Leipzig on the road and not great value, but you have to go for the Leipzig win here. Leipzig playing for something. Heidenheim safe for a Bundesliga spot next season. So Leipzig is probably the only bet in this game. Are you doing something?
The over 3.5 also seems kind of interesting for me. I think Leipzig will definitely try to score more than 1 or 2 goals. So I'm going for the over 3.5.
Yeah, that's not a bad bet in this game. All right, next up, Keulen hosting Darmstadt. Keulen wins set at 1.5. Darmstadt wins set at 6.5. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, another game where just this low value backing Keulen for a win, but betting Keulen is probably the only play in this game. Darmstadt, they can't even win at home, so how can you trust them on the road? Keulen for a win here. Are you doing something?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna skip this one. Like you said, the Darmstadt. I don't think it's smart to put or even sprinkle something on them. So and 1.5 is a little bit too low for
Yeah.
Keulen. So yeah,
But it's kind of, there's no such thing as a guaranteed bet, but this kind of a guarantee in Keulen winning this game. Keulen still has a chance to climb over Mainz. Now they do have to hope Mainz doesn't win any more games, but Keulen can still climb over Mainz, and they're playing Saturday while Mainz is playing Sunday. So Keulen will really try to win this game, and I believe they will. If you try to win against Darmstadt, you will win.
yeah, definitely.
All right. Next up, Wolfsburg hosting Bochum. Wolfsburg wins set at 1.82. Bochum wins set at 4.4. Line for total goal set at 2.5. There's also another game where both teams are trying to escape relegations. Bochum 1 point above the drop. Wolfsburg 2 points above the drop. But just gotta back the home team here, right? Wolfsburg, one of my favorite bets, 1.82. Are you doing something?
Yeah, definitely Wolfsburg here in this game. They're playing at home. One of the last chances, so definitely Wolfsburg.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Union hosting Bayern Munich. Union wins set at 5.1. Bayern Munich wins set at 1.63. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Union is playing for something, 3 points above the drop. Bayern Munich advanced in the Champions League and also 7 point clear of Leipzig. So whether they finish second or third in the Bundesliga doesn't really matter. So I still think they will win this game just based on their talent alone. Union is just awful, but I'm not gonna play Bayern Munich here. Are you doing something?
No, I won't do that either. A little bit too low. And Union, like you said, yeah, they are maybe still playing for something, but yeah, Bayern München is still yeah, a little bit too heavy for them.
Yeah, just the gap in talent is just too wide. All right. Next up, Bremen hosting Stuttgart. Bremen wins set at 5.1. Stuttgart wins set at 1.63. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, I'm gonna take a prop bet in this game, and as is Gurasi to score. That has been very profitable this season. Gurasi in a second behind Kane in terms of scoring goals in the Bundesliga, 25 goals, and he basically scores every game he has played. So just give me Gurasi for a goal here. Anytime goal, are you doing something?
No, this one is I'm skipping this one also. Yeah, no, Stuttgart, not not very interesting one.
Yeah, and Bremen, not really secure, but all but secure. You really can't see four teams climbing over them. They're 5 points above the drop right now, so um, maybe take both teams to score is set at 1.55, but also low value, so kind of staying away from that one. All right, next up, Dortmund hosting Leverkusen. Dortmund wins set at 2.63. Leverkusen wins set at 2.55. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, Leverkusen, they won the league last weekend, beating Werder Bremen in good fashion, and they also advanced in the Europa League. So they also have the cup final to focus on. So a lot of things going in there for them, which is why I don't think this game will mean that much to them. It will mean a lot more to Dortmund, who is tied with Leipzig, and we'll try to climb over Leipzig to secure a Champions League spot for next season.
Yes, definitely.
So I know I have done this a lot of times in the league this season, and it has not worked out, but I'm gonna try it once more. Leverkusen will lose their first game. Give me Dortmund for a win. Are you doing something?
Yeah. Looks like you could read my mind today. Yeah, I'm also going for a Dortmund win. Like you said, Bayer Leverkusen, they got their focus on they already won the league. Now the DFB Pokal is against Kaiserslautern.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Yes. So I think that's the next game that really matters for them. So
Yeah, you just make sure all your players are healthy for the Europa League games and the DFB Pokal. So this game won't mean that much to Leverkusen.
No. So Dortmund, I'm going for a Dortmund win.
Yes, me also. All right. Next up, Freiburg hosting Mainz. Freiburg wins set at 2.65. Mainz wins also set at 2.65. So pick 'em here. The line for total goal set at 2.5. Now pick 'em, but still, I'm gonna back Freiburg. Freiburg 3 points behind Frankfurt now, actually 6 because Frankfurt just won against Augsburg. Mainz 1 point below the drop. Mainz undefeated in the last 4, 3 wins, but all of those 3 wins came at home. A draw on the road against Leipzig, which is somewhat impressive, but all they did in that game was defend. And 2 of the 3 home wins came against Darmstadt and Bochum, so that doesn't impress me that much. I'm gonna back Freiburg here for a win. Are you doing something?
Yeah. I'm also leaning towards Freiburg. For me, they're still the better team and also still playing for something. So just going for a Freiburg win.
All right. That wraps up Bundesliga, and that wraps up all picks and leans for the upcoming weekend. Quick recap for my best bets. I have Celta Vigo for a win, Real Sociedad for a win, Atalanta for a win, Wolfsburg for a win, and Borussia Dortmund for a win. What do you have, Sergio?
I have Celta Vigo for a win, Valencia, Alaves Atletico over 2.5, Sassuolo for a win, Atalanta for a win, and of course Roma over 2.5 against Bologna.
All right. Thanks everybody for joining in. And like we always say, bet smart, bet with your head, set your limits, and stay within your means. Have a good weekend.
Yes, good weekend, everyone.